King often walked the palace gardens in the cool of the evening. It was a time for reflection, away from the petitions and pressures of the throne. One such evening, the head gardener approached. His brow was furrowed, his hands calloused and dirt-stained. He bowed deeply, but frustration simmered in his eyes.
Your Majesty, forgive my boldness, but I must ask what truly separates me from your chief minister? Here I am day after day, bent double under the sun, my back aching, my skin burning, coaxing life from the soil. Yet the minister? He spends his hours in shaded chambers, feasting on fine foods, surrounded by comfort. His life seems one of ease and pleasure, while mine is endless toil. Where is the justice in that?
The king listened patiently. He saw the sweat on the man's brow, the weariness in his stance. He didn't answer immediately, but a thoughtful look crossed his face. He gave a quiet command to a nearby attendant. Soon after, both the weary gardener and the impeccably dressed chief minister stood before the king in a quiet corner of the garden. The minister looked composed, curious about the summons. The gardener shifted his weight, unsure.
Gentlemen, a simple task for you both. Go to the far western corner of the gardens near the old stone wall. I am told the palace cat has recently had her litter there. Investigate and report back to me precisely what you find.
Both men bowed and set off towards the designated spot. The gardener walked with purpose, eager to complete the task and perhaps prove his worth. The minister followed at a measured pace, his expression thoughtful. They returned shortly. The gardener stepped forward first, eager to share his findings.
Your Majesty, I went right to the spot, just as you said. Found the cat, sure enough. She's got 3 fine little kittens there. Healthy little things, they seemed.
He nodded, satisfied he had answered the king's question. The king gave no reaction, simply turning his gaze to the chief minister. The minister produced a small notebook and stylus from within his robes. He opened it and began to speak, his voice clear and methodical.
Your Majesty, acting on your directive, I proceeded to the far western quadrant of the palace gardens, specifically the area bordered by the southern section of the ancient perimeter wall. Nestled in a sheltered hollow formed by the roots of the large oak tree, I located the subject, the white palace cat. Observation confirms she has indeed given birth to 3 offspring. Initial visual assessment indicates 2 are male, 1 female. The male kittens display distinct coat patterns. One is predominantly white with minimal markings. The other exhibits a classic black and white piebald pattern. The female kitten possesses a uniform gray coat. Based on size, coordination, and eye development, I estimate their age to be approximately 4 weeks. During a discrete period of observation, I noted the cook's assistant delivering scraps of meat and fish to the mother cat daily at approximately the same hour, supplementing her diet and thereby ensuring adequate milk supply for the litter. Additionally, I observed a concerning condition. The left eye of the female gray kitten appears inflamed and shows signs of discharge, suggesting a possible infection requiring attention to prevent deterioration or spread.
The gardener's eyes had widened as the minister spoke. His simple count of 3 kittens seemed embarrassingly inadequate next to this detailed account. The king finally turned back to the head gardener. His expression was not unkind, but it held a quiet certainty.
And that is precisely why he advises me in the council chamber, navigating the complexities of the realm, while you tend to the roses and hedges. Both roles are vital, gardener, but they require vastly different ways of seeing the world.
The gardener looked down at his worn boots, then back at the minister, whose sharp eyes missed little. He understood. The weight of his resentment lifted, replaced by a newfound respect for the unseen effort in the shaded chambers. He bowed deeply, silently, to both his king and the minister before returning to his beloved earth. All right, everyone, let's settle in and decode this tale from DecodeTales. What we just heard is more than just a story about a king, a gardener, and a minister. It's a sharp lesson wrapped in a simple test. Think about it. The gardener sees the surface. 3 kittens. That's it. He answered the immediate question. The minister, however, sees the entire picture. He notes location, specifics, potential problems, that kitten's eye, and even underlying systems like the food supply. He doesn't just observe, he analyzes and synthesizes information. This difference in observation and critical thinking is absolutely fundamental. The king isn't being cruel, he's being brilliantly instructive. He understands that effective leadership or any complex role demands more than just noticing the obvious. It requires depth, context, anticipation of consequences, and an understanding of interconnectedness. The minister's report wasn't about showing off. It was a demonstration of the habit of mind needed to manage affairs of state, where a single overlooked detail can have widespread repercussions. The gardener's role is vital, demanding skill and dedication, but its focus is narrower, its required observational scope different. The core purpose here? It highlights how true value and responsibility are directly linked to one's ability to perceive, process, and act on information comprehensively. It teaches us that different roles demand different levels and types of awareness. Complaining about someone else's perceived ease often stems from not seeing the invisible effort and skill their role entails, the mental toil of deep observation and complex problem-solving. It's a timeless reminder to cultivate our own powers of observation and critical thinking, no matter our position, and to appreciate the diverse skills others bring to the table. What do you think? Have you ever encountered a situation where seeing the bigger picture made all the difference? Or maybe you've been the gardener, realizing the depth in someone else's role. Share your thoughts down in the comments below. We love hearing your perspectives here on DecodeTales. If this kind of wisdom story with a modern twist resonates with you, be sure to check out our other story analyses. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to DecodeTales so you never miss our next journey into timeless lessons. Thanks for listening.